Well, hello. Howdy, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Ask the CHOQTOR Live. I am your friendly neighborhood doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine, Dr. Matt Dorsey, DACM, CHOQ, Chief Scientific Officer and Formulator. And it's time for us to geek out. Let's see who's here. Looks like we have a couple folks here. Mike, hello. Mike Short. Don't recognize you, so perhaps you're a new person. In that case, welcome. Thanks for being here. Mike, tell me where you're at. Let me know if you're taking CHOQ or not, and holler with any questions. Ask me anything, as long as that thing doesn't have to do specifically with me telling you how to treat any sort of disorder, because I can't do that legally. But other than that, feel free. So somebody's asking Marius, hello again, how you doing? Asking about fluoride. Let's see here. Yeah, well, Marius, what I do is I have a Berkey water filter, and the built-in carbon filters don't handle the fluoride, so you do have to add an additional filter specifically for fluoride, so you got to add the additional fluoride filters. That's what I have. I've just got the small Berkey because I just live by myself. But there are all different sizes, and yeah, that's the one I use. I know there are plenty of other filters out there as well, though, that will filter fluoride. How's it going, India? Mike, you're from India. Very cool. Well, welcome. What time is it over in India, Mike? And yeah, are you a fan of Indian herbs? Because CHOQ actually sells quite a few. We have an organic, clinically studied ashwagandha right here. We actually really love Indian herbs. We, of course, sell shilajit, an herbo-mineral, not technically an herb, right? This is a 4-to-1 extract with clinical research behind it. And we also like to use herbs like, for example, organic andrographis. That's another one that's popular in India, also used in Chinese medicine right here. We use that one in our Armor product, which is an inflammation support, immune support product. Who else we got in the house here? Let's see. 11:30 p.m. All right, nice. Well, thanks for tuning in so late, and welcome to Live with the CHOQTOR. Let's see. Lillian asked, "What is good about the shilajit?" All right, I'm so glad you asked. So this is, by the way, Lillian. So we sell shilajit as a standalone here. That's 500 milligrams of Prima V shilajit. This is a 4-to-1 shilajit extract, so it's 4 times the potency of regular shilajit. Very easy for the body to absorb, unlike the tar that you find out there, and has clinical research behind it for a lot of things. We also do have a men's product called Men's Daily, and this one has the same amount of shilajit in it. Now, what is shilajit good for? Many things. It contains a compound called urolithin A and I'm going to link to a deep dive that I did with an amazing scientist on shilajit, so that you can go more deeply into this if you'd like to. Yeah, so basically shilajit helps with urolithin A, helps with mitochondrial energy production. And what does that mean? All right, and here we go. Deep dives with Dr. Dorsey. That video will take you really deep on shilajit. That's almost an hour of me talking to 2 amazing doctoral level scientists about everything shilajit. So if you want to go real deep, that's the video to go for. But so helps with energy production, making sure that the food that you eat, you can turn into energy, whether that calorie is in the form of a fat, protein, carbohydrate, whatever it is, making sure your cells can turn that into energy, right? What are the body parts that especially need good mitochondrial function? Your brain, your heart, your liver, and your muscles. All of those have a high need for mitochondrial energy output. Think of shilajit as very much similar to CHOQ10, if you know anything about CHOQ10. It's also synergistic with CHOQ10. But shilajit helps with healthy hormones, so testosterone in men and also other hormones in women. One of those hormones being cortisol, which is the stress hormone, can help with healthy cortisol levels. Mood, focus, to put it more simply and less of a geeky way, right? Mood, focus, brain function, healthy hormone levels, healthy nitric oxide production. Nitric oxide, we do have on our blog right now, a brand new blog, CHOQ.com/blog on nitric oxide. Very important for the immune system and also for healthy blood flow. Make sure that your blood vessels have a healthy diameter so that they can allow blood to move through. And that also, of course, includes getting blood to the brain, which is important for, again, mood and focus. So hopefully that helps summarize. Also, Shilajit helps with detoxification. It does kind of a little bit of everything, similar to ashwagandha, one of our other, again. So these two, out of everything CHOQ sells, I think that these two guys right here have some of the broadest functions. They hit kind of a little bit of every system in the body. These two are fantastic together. Really good combination. But yeah, Lillian, if you have any more questions about Shilajit, feel free to ask me right now, obviously, and then definitely check out that video. That one is awesome. All right, let's see. Mike says in India we get it in the resin form. Yeah, so Mike, and I'm not saying that the resin doesn't work, but the reason that our product is better than that, a few different things. So this is a 4-to-1 extract, so it's 4 times as potent as just a raw Shilajit, right? And it's in a powder form, which is highly bioavailable because in the realm of, well, bioavailability and how to research it, right? Like, just think about this. The smaller the particle size, the easier something is to absorb, right? So, for example, if you're eating a piece of fruit or something like that, and you only chew it 3 times versus chewing it 50 times, what's going to be easier for your body to absorb, right? Chewing it 50 times, smaller pieces, right? So when you have something that's in a thick tar form, certainly a lot of people probably can digest that, but there are a lot of folks out there who have deficient stomach acid, who don't break down and absorb things very well. And it's a really big deal to be able to actually optimize someone's absorption who has bad digestive function, who has low stomach acid, for example, who has low bile secretion from the liver, gallbladder into the small intestine, by giving them a fine powder. So the smaller the particle size, the better absorbed it is. In addition to that, because Shilajit tends to accumulate heavy metals, it's very important to have heavy metal testing done. So any Shilajit you buy, whether it's CHOQ's or anybody else's, make sure that they actually test for heavy metals. Ours is tested. We will even give you, if you email CHOQ@CHOQ.com, we'll give you the certificate of authenticity. We actually have it posted on the website as well. You can see the actual labs done on it to make sure it's safe. Ours is the only one, this particular branded extract is the only one that's allowed to be sold in Canada legally, because Canada is very strict about this. So yeah, very, very different from your just average tar in the jar resin type product. Safer, easier to absorb, 4 times the potency. And on top of that, has 8 clinical studies behind it, showing effects on things like testosterone and even collagen synthesis. So definitely a step up from your average tar in the jar Shilajit. All right, CHOQ, you're liking this time? Okay, good. Glad you like the time slot. So Mr. R says, is it true that drinking distilled water leaches your body's minerals? So Mr. R, that's something that is you do commonly hear that. Whether it's actually true or not, I really could not tell you. That's something you do hear a lot. But whether or not we need to get minerals from water is arguable. Really, we should be getting our minerals from food, especially obviously from, organic fruits and vegetables, one of your best sources of minerals. Of course, you can get minerals from, everything from meat, nuts, all sorts of stuff, seeds, potatoes, whatever it is. But obviously that's under the vegetable category. But anyway, so yes, there is a lack of minerals in there. Do we know that it's going to leach minerals from the body? We don't necessarily know that. And if anybody has any, more specific proof on that, let me know. Maybe there is research out there. I haven't looked for it actively, so I really don't know. But whether you're drinking, water that has lots of minerals or not, most important thing is to eat a mineral-rich diet. Also, speaking of Shilajit actually does improve mineral absorption. So if you're eating, like I've said this yesterday, if you're taking zinc or magnesium, some kind of mineral supplement, or if you're drinking a really awesome naturally mineral-rich smoothie or eating a mineral-rich meal, take your Shilajit with that, and it will enhance the absorption of some of the minerals in there. because it contains fulvic acid, and fulvic acid is used to enhance mineral absorption. All right. But yeah, Lillian, as far as using something like a Shilajit in a smoothie and a juice, I wouldn't put the Shilajit directly in the smoothie. It doesn't taste very good. So it might ruin the flavor of your smoothie. I would probably just take it as a capsule, that would be the most user-friendly way to do it. Yeah. Let's see here. Out of all the CHOQ products, which one helped us to open the pineal gland? So again, yeah, it's a very, very common question, Lillian. Thank you for your question. So we don't have any science whatsoever that shows that anything we sell has any effect on the pineal gland. I just have to be clear about that on a purely scientific level. We have absolutely zero idea, really. But from a more Ayurvedic perspective, classical Ayurvedic perspective, there are some people in that community who believe that Shilajit does help with the third eye. So we're talking more of an energetic chakra type paradigm now, right? Of course, many people link the third eye to the pineal gland. They're not the same thing. One is a gland, one is more of an energy center, but they are linked. So there is that belief that Shilajit can be helpful for the third eye. So, I don't know really, but that is something that you hear a lot within the, that community. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. I always try to be as honest as possible in terms of, do we have any actual hard scientific evidence for something? And then differentiate what's more speculation from what's actually pure science. Yeah. All right. Please talk TP. I'm not sure what that means, but if you'd like to clarify, that'd be great. All right. Someone was telling me if I take my Shilajit distilled water, Shilajit won't absorb in my body as much because the water leaches it away. Mr. R, I honestly have no idea with that. Probably not true, but we really don't know. And anyone tells you that they know for sure they're speculating. They really don't, to be honest, right there. So, but yeah, what you might want to do is just, take your Shilajit with the most mineral-rich meal of the day, especially with any supplements that contain minerals. So yes, that would be great. That will help you. Again, the fulvic acid in the Shilajit will boost the absorption there. Yeah, all right. So Lillian wants to know about the Irish moss. Irish moss is one of the minerals it's rich in is iodine. So it's important to know that iodine is an ingredient that helps to build thyroid hormone, right? And I don't know, Lillian and other people here, are you guys familiar with kind of the general function of the thyroid? Thyroid's very important for your metabolism, right? So make sure that your metabolism is operating correctly, and it's linked to things like mood health, stamina, energy health, hormonal health, that sort of thing. So yeah, so in a sense, iodine you do need for that. Iodine also itself helps with immune function as well. So, and so in general, moss is used for all of those things. It's also used for skin health. It's used for immune system health. It contains sort of a mild prebiotic as well. So digestive function, and those are some of the main things that are good. The Irish moss is good for here. All right, CHOQ product that helps with deep sleep. Yeah, so Mike, actually, the number one product I'd recommend for sleep would be ashwagandha. And again, ashwagandha is an adaptogen, right? It's not like valerian. It doesn't just like knock you out at night, right? It's not like taking a giant dose of, valerian or passion flower or something like that. It's not something that purely just makes you fall asleep. But what it does do is it helps to balance your adrenal function. And it helps to regulate the synthesis of your stress hormone, cortisol. And when cortisol levels are healthy, then it's much easier to sleep for some people because, we all know when you're stressed out, when you got a lot of really stressful stuff going on in your life, it's harder to sleep at night. One of the reasons for that is because cortisol levels may be higher than normal when you're stressed out. And one of the areas where ashwagandha really shines is that also our Tomcat with 17 clinical studies behind it. Actually, this one right here has some research for healthy sleep and does help with healthy cortisol levels as well. So for cortisol support, these two are a great combination. Yeah, these guys right here. So yeah, but we don't have a specific product that's just for sleep yet. although I am working on that formula, and I'm sure at some point we will have one. Absolutely. So, you know, it'll be nice to have like a CHOQ chill out type formula, you know. All right. What else you guys got? Lillian, what kind of smoothies do you make? I wonder. All right. Yeah. All right. So I think it might be actually, I'm going to do a little bit faster today because I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to have a little bit shorter episode today. So I actually am going to do our first giveaway now. Here we go. All right. So if it's your first time, well, for everybody else, you know the drill. If it's your first time, give me a number between 1 and 100. That number between 1 and 100, if it matches or gets as close as possible to the number I'm going to generate, you win prize number 1. Prize number 1 is any CHOQ product you like. The CHOQ product, if you're choosing, you only get 1 entry. So no more than once. And go ahead and enter it now into the chat if you can hear this. And let's see who is the most psychic right now. Let's see. What do we got? All right, everybody try to get them in as quickly as you can here so we don't have to wait too long. Remember, just 1 entry. All right, here we go. The random number is 85. Who's closest to 85? So Daniel is 99. That's 14 away. 85. So 77. That's 8 away. Iswana, 78. Hunter. I believe Hunter is our winner. Yes, Hunter, you are our winner. You are only 7 away. So everybody give Hunter a round of applause. Yeah, let's just pull up that applause sound effect again. Hopefully you guys aren't sick of it yet. But yeah, Hunter, congratulations. You are our winner. So Hunter, email CHOQ@CHOQ.com. CHOQ@CHOQ.com. Oops, sorry. Let's call that CHOQ.com, not CO. Hunter, and say Dr. Matt says that I won prize number 1, and basically that's any CHOQ product. So just pick one out in the products section of the website, whichever one you like. 1 bottle of whatever. Some of the fancier ones that are a little bit more expensive might be worth checking out. Action 2.0 is an awesome pre-workout, but you can use it for any time you need a nice boost in mood and focus. And of course, another favorite is Armor. That's going to be on the more expensive side. This one makes a good post-workout, but also great for histamine support, immune support, and healthy inflammation response. So yeah. And yeah, and obviously, you know, fortunately, we haven't had anyone try to like cheat the system or anything like that. If anybody did ever do that, clearly we would have too many emails. I know none of you guys would do that anyway, but that customer service was like, hey, what if somebody tries to cheat and tells us they won when they didn't? It's like, well, we're only going to have 2 emails after each episode. If we ever get 3, then we'll investigate, you know. So it'll be pretty obvious, but pretty sure none of you guys would do that. So, all right. Now it's time for our what's in the news section here. Let's see here. I've been plugging this guy, Charles Eisenstein, recently. So yeah, again, Green Med Info. These guys are awesome. You know, Sayer G. I don't know. Do you guys know Sayer G? I think 1 or 2 of y'all we've talked about him before, right? Maybe Mr. R, right? Hunter, you know, actually, yeah, if you want to get a shirt, that's fine. That's, you know, any CHOQ product really. So that includes a shirt for sure. Yeah, absolutely. So if that's what you want. Yeah. But yeah, yeah, Mr. R knows what I'm talking about. So this dude, Charles Eisenstein, this is another really cool article of his. I mean, not that I've read all of it yet, but In Science We Trust. You know, it's interesting. So check this out. All right. I like this here. I like this a lot. The scientific method, like most religious formulae for the attainment of truth, rests on a priori metaphysical assumptions that we must indeed accept on faith. First among them is objectivity, which assumes, among other things, that the formulation and testing of hypotheses don't alter the reality in which the experiments take place. This is a huge assumption that is by no means accepted as obvious by other systems of thought. So there are assumptions even within science. You know, one of those assumptions is that it's possible to be completely objective, right? That we can be this sort of totally dispassionate, neutral observer. And I think, you know, there's maybe a lot of you guys are familiar with some certain elements of quantum physics that suggest that the observer has a huge effect on the particle, right? And that, you know, objectivity does not exist. You know, we have a situation right now, and again, there's words that I won't say, but I will refer to the situation indirectly, right? But we have a situation right now where there are a lot of people saying, you know, because science, you know. And of course, first of all, a lot of those people don't have training in science who are saying that. You know, they're just kind of parroting what certain authorities have told them. But the actual situation, if you treat science less like a religion and more like an actual methodology, a framework of, you know, trying to discover information about reality and order it and make sense of it and make predictions, it starts to look very different. But strange bedfellows, the strangest are science and politics, right? There's this documentary that I really want to watch. It's about Chernobyl. I forget what it's actually called. Might just be called Chernobyl, but I was watching a review of it last night. And I don't know how much you guys are familiar. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick in case y'all want to watch it. Apparently it was pretty critically acclaimed. And I'll tell you why this actually is relevant. Chernobyl documentary. I promise it's not as much of a tangent as you think. But yeah, let's check this out. So, okay, it's just called Chernobyl. Yeah. So, let's see here. Yeah. Chernobyl. Here we go. So, yeah. 35 years after the nuclear disaster. So anyway, long story short though, apparently there's this whole thing going on in the movie where the Soviet government is talking to the scientists, and the scientists, the government is like, the government officials, they're always like, it's trying to say, hey, you know, keep everything simple, right? And the scientists are like, we're talking about nuclear power. There's nothing simple about it, right? So there's like a scene where the politician is like, it's a simple question. Tell me how a nuclear reactor works, right? And he's just a layperson who has no training in physics whatsoever, right? And he's asking this guy, right, with all his expertise in nuclear power to explain to him in like 30 seconds how nuclear power works, right? And so when science and politics get together, bad things tend to happen, right? Because scientists are the ones who are honest. The really honest ones are like, hey, it's always more complex than you think, right? And the politicians are like, make it simple, right? The politicians are like, people are dumb everything down, make everything simple, right? Our policies are based on very, very simple concepts, even though the science is complicated. So there's this dynamic between politics and science where the scientists, the really good ones, are trying to say like, look, there's still a lot we don't know. We have huge questions. The more we study this, the more questions we have. It takes time to figure this stuff out, figure out what's going on. The politicians are like, we don't have time, dumb it down, simplify it, make huge assumptions if you have to. And then, of course, the politicians also might say, I need you to make the data fit this conclusion because we've already decided what we're going to do. And so we need evidence for that. Actually, here, I'm going to post a really funny video for you guys. How many of you guys know who Ryan Long is? Tell me in the chat if you know who Ryan Long is. This is a really funny, really hilarious video he came out with. And all right, check this one out. Check this one out. It's great. It's called When an Expert Disagrees with the Experts. Here, I'll just play like part of it for you here. Here, let's see if I can make this happen. This is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Hi, my name is David Jones, and I'm an expert. I just wanted to let you know that we are right in the thick of this fight against COVID. The science and all experts are in complete agreement that we're just at the beginning stages of this fight against COVID. I'm actually also an expert, and I slightly disagree, which is really sorry about that. So we are all really in agreement. So anyway,
yeah. So basically, there's one white guy in a white coat who's like, "I'm an expert," and all the experts agree. And then another expert comes in another white coat and is like, "Hey, actually, I have a slightly different take on it." And then he just starts punching him. So, pretty funny stuff. Pretty funny stuff. But yeah. Oh man. All right. So Mike, to answer your question about soft-fed muesli, soft-fed muesli is awesome. It is we do have a standardized extract of soft-fed muesli in CHOQ Daily right here. Soft-fed muesli is, an Indian herb. Well, obviously, as you know, right, Mike, being in India, it is an herb that's primarily used in India. You don't see nearly as many, Western supplements carrying soft-fed muesli, but soft-fed muesli is definitely a more yang herb that's especially popular among men for things like healthy blood flow, healthy libido, healthy energy levels, adrenal function, that sort of thing, right? It is considered an adaptogen for sure, but it's a pretty intense one. And one of the reasons that CHOQ Daily is so good for blood flow and for adrenal function and energy is the soft-fed muesli. That's one of the more potent ones in there. Yeah. So, all right. So I think it's time to do number 2, and then we'll get out of here. Today's will be a little shorter episode. So prize number 2 is going to be as y'all know, who have been here lots of times before, prize number 2 is 1 CHOQ t-shirt and 1 bag of cacao beans. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Once again, give me a number between 1 and 100. See if you can, use your third eye psychic shilajit powers to go ahead and intuit what this number will be, and type it in now if you can. Remember, only 1 entry per person. And we've only got about 10 people in the room right now, so your odds are pretty good. You have about a 1 in 10 chance. Of course, if you're super psychic, it's higher than that, I bet. But here we go. You guys ready? All right, going once, going twice. The number is 7. Levi, you win. You got it exactly right. Great job, Levi. Way to be psychic as F. That's awesome. You got it right on the money. And if you think about it, Levi, every time somebody gets it right on like that, it's kind of cool because literally that's a 1 in 100 chance, that's like roulette wheel and then some, like imagine like if you bet on a roulette wheel, right, and you got the number right, like the odds are even higher than that, or even lower rather, of getting a 1 in 100 chance. So great job, Levi. Again, email CHOQ@CHOQ.com. Say, Dr. Matt says I won prize number 2. Prize number 2 is one of these guys, as well as a bag of organic heirloom cacao beans. And feel free to go and check out the shirt page and figure out if you want short or long sleeve, if you want gold or brown. I kind of like the brown one, but the gold one's cool too. And then obviously what size you want. And these are organic cotton, made in the USA. That's why they're a little on the pricey side, but they're actually really nice. They feel really good on your skin. They're not like the super cheap, crappy kind. So yeah, awesome. All right, well, I'm going to head out. I've got a lot of work to do today. I will see you guys again here tomorrow. Let's see, when is tomorrow's episode? Let me just bust out my calendar here. We've already got it scheduled. So if you want to come back tomorrow for another chance to win and to mess around and ask me questions and have fun, tomorrow will be 3:30 p.m. Central Time. So yeah. And if you guys have any interesting stuff from the news or anything else like that you want to bring in, like any cool stuff on natural health, bring it to me. Feel free to post. You guys can always post links in the chat if you have links to interesting articles if you want, all that sort of stuff. So awesome. All right. Well, you guys are great. Thanks for being here, and much love. I'll see you next time. Stay human.